Look how sweet. I wanted to talk to them about the feeling that, you know, comes when you're about to write and you're not sure what to write. Good syllables. Bedtime. Good time. Ready? Time. It gives them more experience sounding out multisyllabic words. When you zoom in, you're adding more detail. And it makes the story more interesting. So the character trait, and the evidence. I felt like crying watching you teach. So magical. This is your place. This is where you're supposed to be. Hi sweet friend, welcome back to my channel. My name is Maylene Call from Mrs. Call's Campers. If you're new here, I am a first grade teacher in Las Vegas. Today's Halloween. Might be Christmas before you see this because I am so behind. I feel like I'm saying that more and more often, but it's hard because I'm filming more than I ever have before, so editing it also takes, when I tell you it takes like 3 or 4 hours to edit a YouTube video, it does. So if this is even seeing the light of day, that is a good thing. Mistakes were made, okay? It's Halloween. Space Day was last week. I did not touch a single thing in here. We had Space Day, then right afterwards we had Trunk or Treat, and I left like after 8 o'clock, and so I was like, no, I'll just save it. I'll come in early. But me and John also went to Disneyland this weekend, so did I come in early today? Sort of. Also last minute ran to the grocery store this morning to pick up stuff for Halloween today. It is going to be a very chill Halloween day. I think what I'm going to try to do right now is clean up because this room is an absolute disaster. 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 Put on some Taylor Swift. Also, if you didn't see the vlog, our room was flooding during Space Day. So, on the agenda for today, again, some very chill Halloween activities. If you saw my first week of school vlog, we made these little finger puppet butterflies. The art teacher Kim, who shared about those, she also shared about some finger puppet bats, and I love that. That's going to take up a lot of time. They made little ghosts that they've been turning in, and they're going to share about them today. Here's what they look like. This one is a Taylor Swift ghostie. So cute. And then we've got some snacks, some kind of read aloud activity. I don't know, I'm just tired. It's going to be a really busy week. The seed said, time to get back to scaring. What is he now? A little sprout. Yeah, he grew a little leaf, maybe almost another one right there. We call that a sprout.
Oh, so it's called seed and sprout.
Mm-hmm. The seed was growing into a tender little sprout. Boo, said the little sprout to an old boot, but the boot didn't say anything back. I am dead tired today, and it wasn't my kids, it was 100% me. I am just tired from the weekend. I feel like I'm gonna go home and just sleep and sleep and sleep. I started rereading Throne of Glass, the series Throne of Glass, and I forgot how in the beginning it feels very YA. But I'm getting over that hump now, so I'm really enjoying it. So it's nice to have a book that I just am excited to go home and read. Today we barely got anything done. When I say barely got anything done, I mean barely, and it was not intentional at all. Actually, one of my girls, when she first came in, she made me a little card that says Happy Halloween. One of my kids brought me this cute little cookie. They were in a phenomenal mood this morning. The first thing we did was AR. They got on their math program that they're supposed to do. I was like, let me get that stuff out of the way because I know it's going to be crazy. We read Little Boo. They did a retelling. And on days like this, I always, no matter what it is, I try to get the main big academic thing out of the way first. These little flip books. And they're so cute. So what I did was I had a packet like this, the packet together with the pieces, and then I had them write it all. So it's beginning, middle, and end, and then color the front, and then since it's already stapled, cut it out all at the same time. And then they could staple it themselves using the automatic stapler, and they loved that. And this was not a shared writing because I didn't want to spend 7 hours modeling this, because right now they are at the point, I'm so happy to say this, but they are at the point where my Kids who know how to write something can write independently, and they will write independently. So here's mine. And I emphasized writing smaller so I could write more. And I said, in the beginning, little Boo wanted to be scary, but he was too tiny. He was just a seed. In the middle, he was very patient. He slept through the winter, and he grew bigger. It was almost time. In the end, little Boo was a jack-o'-lantern. Now he was so scary, he said, boo, boo, boo. They do best whenever I tell them to write. Voice is off, and they just go. In the beginning, and beginning spelled for them, so that's helpful too. In the beginning, little Boo was a seed. He wanted to be scary. In the middle, little Boo grew a sprout. He's still waiting to scary people. Doing a really good job, and they're writing all the parts. They're not giving up. I do have a group of like 5 kids who sit with me, so like for them, we did a shared writing. Let me see if I can find one. And it was like 1 or 2 sentences. So this one, beginning, we just said, he was a seed. He got big. He was a pumpkin. He said boo, boo, boo. He added more boos. Boo, 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 boo. He was scary. So very simple, but we did that as a shared writing, so we sounded it out together. And I did have vocabulary cards of the pumpkin life cycle up there, so they could look to those too. So those are spelled right, but it depends on the skill that you're working for. So if you are working for spelling, then have them sound it out. But if you want them more to be able to write for you, I give them some vocabulary words sometimes. That way they don't get stopped up by words that everybody's going to be using anyway. I also said they could color it however they wanted. So this was the main thing we did today. This was like our big morning task. And then after this, that took us to lunchtime. I'm like sitting here like, what else did we do in the morning? But that's it. When I tell you I barely did anything today, but I'm really proud of them for doing that, and they did it in a really good amount of time. It took them 30 minutes to write everything, color, and cut it out, so that's perfect. Really what this is it's like a broken down paragraph. So honestly, very impressed, especially because it's October 31st, but it's November, so I'm proud of them. We came back from lunch, started Spookily the pumpkin. I ran into a technical issue, and then we had snacks and floats and
the candy corn crowd.
After you get your pumpkin patch, come back for your drink. We did a parade.
Yes.
Came back, passed on 1 million goodie bags, and now I'm going home. Hello, good morning, happy Tuesday. I feeling good about today because we had Halloween yesterday. Our Monday, oh gosh, I have to do our center folders. Our Monday is going to be today. And then next week is a little bit wonky. So our Friday is going to be, I don't know, we'll see. Anyways, I had a couple stuff to print and get ready. Our November schedule, we are hardly in school in November. We have like 1 full week in November. Everything else is kind of crazy. So this week, and I realize like this is so delayed, but I'm hoping that it's still interesting, even if you guys don't see it right away. Okay, so this week, we're still doing CVCE words, but we're gonna do multisyllabic CVC words. So think about like the word admire. So admire, and the second half of that, the last syllable is a CVCE word. So doing CVCE words in multisyllabic words is what we're doing this week. We also have something called classroom walks this week, where we cover for other teachers, and they get to walk around the school and see people's classrooms, which I'm interested to see how that goes. I would literally do that any day, but I'm excited that we get the opportunity to do it here. And then this week we're doing, as far as like our read aloud and all of that goes, last stop on Market Street and those shoes. So because our November is, well, maybe I should do turkey trouble so I can get turkeys up for Thanksgiving. Well, I already planned to this. Yeah, okay, we'll do turkey trouble next Monday. Okay, so we're doing last stop on Market Street and those shoes, which is all about like appreciating what you have. So I'm gonna print the vocabulary cards that I made for those, and those laminated and cut for this morning. I love doing the vocabulary words. Like, that's one of my favorite parts. I don't know why. It's just so much fun, and they love to use the vocabulary words, and I had them give me a secret signal? I had them give me a secret signal whenever they hear the word, but now every time they hear a vocabulary word from previous books, they also touch their nose, and like they just do that because they're like, oh, that's a vocabulary word that we learned 4 weeks ago, and I'm like, yes, remember it. I've got things roughly planned out for November. I can show you what that looks like just so you can see. This is what my plans look like right now. I don't even have my weekly plan this week. It's just this. So I use the monthly spread mostly, kind of plan out my phonics and my read alouds and my math concepts. I'm gonna get started. I also need to meet with my principal this morning for a little bit, and I feel better about my room. It's nice and clean now. And I'm also trying to keep my scope and sequence updated. I shared this in a previous vlog. I don't even know if that vlog has gone live at this point, but I'm just trying to update, oh gosh, I'm way overexposed. I'm trying to update my scope and sequence that I made as I go throughout this year. That way next year when I can really like plan it out, I have it mostly done. So that's the update. We're feeling good this morning. Taylor Swift announced her Eras tour, and I am on the wait list to register for the wait list. I don't know. So if you see a sponsored post for me, support, because I'm trying to afford these tickets. Good, ready? Spell it. T-I-M-E. Bedtime. First graders, kiss your brain. Oh my gosh, this is a flag, and this part is called the flag pole. Flag pole, that's a compound word. Flag pole. Flag pole, good. First syllable. Flag. Ready? You want to hear a? Blend. What's the blend? As L says, full. Spell flag. Good, this is a flag pole. Ready? Oh, good, you're going to spell it. Oh, go. E, flag pole. One syllable at a time. Today, we're going to work with multisyllabic words, words that have more than one syllable, and they also have mommy E. So mommy E tells the vowel to say it, and then she covers her. You do not sound her out. Are you ready to practice spelling some words? Okay, here we go. Somebody who plays sports, they're called an athlete. Say athlete. Okay, let's do the syllables together. Ready? Do it with me. Athlete. What's the first syllable? Ath. Ready? How do I spell that? A. Good. How do I spell ass? T-H. If you're learning, you are. I've had to remind one friend 2 times. Spell T-H. Good. Tap the syllables. Athlete. Say it. Athlete. Good. Second syllable is leet. Ready? Eat. Good. First letter. L. Eat. Good. But what do I need? Mommy. E. So which part of the word has mommy E? The beginning or the end? The end of the word. This part right here. Leet. Ready? This bomb is about to explode. Syllables. Explode. Good. First syllable. X. But I can't just put the letter X because every syllable needs a vowel. So what do I need? E. There you go. X. Plode. Watch me. X. Plode. I hear a blend. I hear a blend. What blend do you hear? Pull. Ready? Pull. What's next? Oh. What do I need? Mommy E, because the O is saying? Oh, it's saying its name. Ready? Explode. Good. This is a delicious cupcake. Let me hear you do the syllables. Cupcake. That's also a compound word. Cupcake. Cupcake. First syllable. Cup. Do it with me. Spell it. C-U-P. Good. Cup. Cake. Ready? Cake. Spell it. C-A-K-E. Cup. Cake. What do you think? Super fun? All right, let's do another one. Oh no, it's getting late. I guess it's my bedtime. Say it. Bedtime. First syllable. Ready? Do it with me. Spell it. Good syllables. Good. Time. Ready? First sound. Good. Ready? Spell it. Flag. Pole. Flag pole. Good. First syllable. Flag. Ready, Ahira? Blend. What's the blend? As Al says, full. Spell. Spell flag. Good. This is a flag. Pole. Ready? Oh, good. You're gonna spell it. Oh, go. E, flag. Pull. Miss. Take. Mistake. Pan. Cake. Pancake. Reptile. Good. Keep going. Sun. Rise. Good. Next one. Pull. Tadpole. Unmade. The bed is unmade. It's not made yet. S.
Escape.
Dislike. Good. We practice these words because we see them everywhere. You definitely are acting like second graders today, first grade. I went to school. I went to school on Monday. I went to school on Monday and I had fun. I went to school on Monday and I learned all about space. I went to school on Monday and I learned about space and we made telescopes. Oh my gosh. I went to school on Monday and I learned about space and I learned that telescopes help us see things in space.
I got some seeds from the store.
Zoom in!
I got seeds from the store to plant them.
Zoom in!
I went to the store to buy seeds and plant them so they can grow.
All right, who wants to give me another one? I had fun. Zoom in!
I had fun at school.
Zoom in!
I had fun at school and we learned about space.
Zoom in!
I had fun at school and we learned about space and all about planets.
Woo!
I went to the store.
Zoom in! So when we zoom in, we're adding more, what do you call those things? Little details. When you zoom in, you're adding more details. And it makes the story more interesting to read, right? More cool to read, more fun to read. So tomorrow, we're going to talk about some personal stories that we can write. Real true stories. And we're going to practice zooming in. Hold on, wait. Tomorrow we're going to do work. Tomorrow we're going to work on writing. Tomorrow we're going to work on writing personal narratives. Close. Okay, what type of writing have we been practicing for a long time? Earth. Yes, we have been writing about Earth and space. Listen, but what kind of writing? Our what? Or what? We learned how to write about our opinions. But guess what? There are other types. I know. There's other types of writing that we're going to practice. So, our opinion writing, we're going to make sure whenever we have to write our opinions that we remember everything we learned. But we're moving on to something different. Show me different. We're going to practice something new today.
Yay!
And I love this type of writing because I get to learn more about you, not cursive. I get to learn more about you and what you like, and you get to learn more about me too. We're going to be working on something called a personal, say personal. Personal narrative. Say narrative. A narrative is just a story. Yeah, it's just a book. So a personal narrative is a book about who?
You.
About you, about me. So if I wrote a personal narrative, I would tell a story about something that happened to me. And if I wrote a personal narrative, she would write a story that happened to her. It's a personal story. I want you to pause, put your hands down. Are you ready to learn about a personal narrative?
Yeah.
I love that attitude for learning. Say personal narrative.
Personal narrative.
A true story.
A true story.
About you.
About you.
You are the main character.
You are the main character.
Okay, so when we're writing today, who's the main character?
You.
You're a real life person doing real life things in your real life world, and you get to share all about it with us. I want to show you some examples of personal narratives from my students last year. I saved their writing because I loved it so much. Do you want to see?
Yeah.
I think it's really, really good, and I wanted to show you really, really bad. Hold on. What do you notice about her picture? What do you notice about her picture? We're at the flower store. Does her picture match her writing?
Yeah.
Yeah, she told us she went to the store to get what? Flower seeds. Do you see where her flower seeds are?
Yeah.
I can see them here. She probably could have what? She probably could have labeled them too, don't you think? Oh, lots of details in her picture too. She even used her people drawing that we practiced as well. Okay, so first, me and my mom went to the store to get flower seeds. She even has her page number here.
Hi.
Next, we went in my backyard to plant the seeds. What do you notice about this page? It's all colored. She filled in all her white space. Yeah, I like how you said first, and then now it grew into flowers, and she helped us figure that out with her transition words too. I've never introduced personal narratives like this because my first year teaching, I didn't use any kind of curriculum. We just kind of did things like totally as a team, and I didn't really have like a plan for anything. Last year I started using the Moffat Girls curriculum, and this year, now that I'm like familiar with it, I can make it more of my own. So we practiced zooming in. I can show you a little clip about that, talking about what a personal narrative is. And then for my mentor text, I just used work samples from my students last year, and I didn't save like every perfect example from last year. I wanted to save some that we could talk about and analyze, and what could they have done better, or what could they have added, or what would you have done if this was your story? And I really liked hearing that from them. So I was really glad to have saved, or what I did was I made color copies of my students' writing from last year. And this year I'm going to do the same with their like book reviews, because we'll probably do book reviews next year. It's really helpful. So we did analysis, and we did talking about zooming into small moments. And then for math, we're still doing addition within 20, but we started number lines today, and they know what number lines are because we have seen them before, and I'm sure they did them in kindergarten when my kids actually, we haven't used number lines. We have and we haven't. So I have a number line under my whiteboard here. And when I popped up the number line on the board, and I didn't record any math because my phone was totally dead. I recorded a lot of individual videos for Class Dojo today, so my phone was just totally dead. Let me back up. For reading groups, I did some really super short lessons with my kids, and then I did rhyme magic with some of my girls who, you know, beginning of the year, like really struggled with CVC words, but now they're like kind of getting the CVC words and the blends, and we worked with some rhyme magic today. These cards, or I was having them find the rhyme in the word because it's the next step, and they did really good with it. And of course it wasn't perfect, but I wanted to get that video of them doing this for the first time so that, you know, 2 months later when they're like reading these words perfectly, I'd say, look how far they came. My phone was dead, so you couldn't see or hear how math went. But when I popped the number line up on the board, one of my students was like, oh, it's like the one right there, and they noticed that, and I was like, yeah, that's a number line, whatever. And some of my kids again were familiar with it, and we talked about what we know about number lines. So number lines, we can move on them in any direction. We can use them to add and subtract. We talked about how the little marks are called ticks, and then I said they're called ticks. And I said, wait a minute, and I walked over here, and I said, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and we kind of made that really brief connection with the clock, which is going to set us up for time later on. But we talked about number lines, and we practiced doing them with some problems like 3 + 9 and 8 + 4, and we talked about which number we start with first, which we have already talked about in depth last week when we were working with addition in 20 and our 10 frames, and we start with the bigger number because it's faster for us. And I don't know, our math went really well. After that, they just did Rocket Math and their Freckle Math, basically on their computers, but we got through everything today so easily, so smooth, so fast. It was like such an enjoyable day for me to teach. So I gave them extra recess at the end of the day. I was like, you know what, guys, on it today. You were doing a great job. We beat all the timers we had set because each section of my day, I just set a little timer and we try to beat it. So we beat all our timers. I didn't have to stop and talk to people about the choices they were making, so we saved a lot of time. So I gave them like 15 minutes of extra recess at the end of the day, and it was one of those days where I just really got to enjoy being a teacher. So here's to hoping my birthday tomorrow goes just as smoothly. Good morning. Today is November 2nd. Today is my birthday. I actually had a student bring me a Starbucks gift card yesterday, which I thought was really, really sweet. And it's so funny, he's so shy about it too. He like came up to me and he like threw it at me basically. Oh, my earring kind of hurts. He like threw it at me and he was like, "Here you go, Miss Call, this is for you." And I was like, "Oh, thank you so much." And he like ran away. I'm a little surprised, first thing, because Starbucks sent me an email a couple days ago reminding me about like my birthday drink that everybody gets on their birthday, and then I went this morning to try to order and there was no birthday offer in there, and I was like, well, okay. John was up last night for hours baking for me. He bakes me a birthday cake every single year for my birthday, which is really, really sweet. Like he like decorates it and everything. And I saw this morning he had like the cake ready. He hasn't decorated yet, but he was also baking a bunch of scones. So I brought some scones for my teammates to have because his scones are really, really good. So I'm going to try one. This is a chocolate cherry. So good. And I'll be sure I filmed some math for you guys because I didn't film any yesterday, but we just started number lines and talked about number lines. I already told you that. Well, I had already wanted to do a giant number line. I think I had that written in my planner for yesterday, and I was just going to do it outside with chalk. But I ended up not going outside because the classroom walks were happening, and so I was like, I'll just stay inside and I can maybe do it with paper, but I didn't do that. I just did a basic introduction to number line. So today I was going to do a giant number line and just do it inside and kind of like move my furniture. But I saw a TikTok last night, and it was of is it a TikTok or a reel? It was by One Sharp Bunch, who I love following on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull it up and show you. When I saw it, I was like, oh, this is like the most perfect timing. I don't know if that ever happens to you guys where you are just scrolling on Instagram and you find an idea and it's something that you can use the very next day. Those are my favorite type of things. Okay, so her name's Ashley from One Sharp Bunch, and she posted this. And you can see they're like little turkey feet, and she works on sequencing numbers, but I thought it would be perfect for a little turkey number line. So I was thinking, oh, that would be so fun to turn into a game, and they could all have like individual number lines, but then I could have one giant number line. So I made this really, really quickly on PowerPoint. It's just the little numbers in the feet, just 1 through 20. And then in my PowerPoint, I made a little slide. So here's what it looks like and what it sounds like. This doesn't take me long at all because I'm so used to the PowerPoint thing. So like ideas like this, I can do it really quickly and it's not a big deal. But I was like, oh, let's come up with like a little fun little chant and like get some movement in there, and then they can solve an addition problem within 20 on the number line. So we're gonna do gobble gobble, skip skip, gobble gobble, shake shake, gobble gobble, turkey turkey, get on my plate. And there's a little dance too, you'll see. But then let me lower the exposure. Okay, so a plate pops up with a problem, and then kids can solve it on hopefully their whiteboards, and then someone can come up on the giant number line, and then I'll pop up the turkey with the answer and the little turkey sound. So all that was inspired by Ashley from One Sharp Bunch, just from her posting her sequencing number activity in kindergarten. So love Instagram. It's one of the best professional developments out there in my opinion, because learning from teachers is the best kind of learning. So I have a bunch of problems set up in here. And I just use the animations in PowerPoint, and I think they'll really get a kick out of this for math. So that is what we're doing today. Continuing personal narratives. Oh, I need to get an anchor chart ready for our read alouds this week. We're doing, I already told you, Last Stop on Market Street and Those Shoes, and we're going to talk about the characters and the character traits, and we're specifically going to not cite, but give evidence of the character traits. So in the past, I've just listed character traits on a chart with like a sticky note, kind of like this one that I still have up here, but this time we're actually going to list like why they are those character traits. So I'm going to work on getting that anchor chart ready. The kids off at specials. My heart is so full. I didn't tell them that it was my birthday. Normally my families know because I used to send out a newsletter every week, like every other year I've been teaching except this one. I sent out a newsletter every week, and it had birthdays for that month on the newsletter every week, so parents would kind of see it. But this year I didn't, like a couple of them asked, because there were goodie bags or something, is it your birthday? And I was like, no, but my birthday's on Wednesday. but not all of them knew. And I told some of them, I was like, I'm going to bring you guys an ice cream cake on my birthday. So I have to go pick that up around lunchtime. I think some of their parents follow me on Instagram, so some of them maybe heard me talking about my birthday. I'm not really sure. But they came in this morning. They were so sweet. I already have like this huge stack of cards, and two girls brought in flowers and like a little cute little balloon. I got a cup that matches our classroom. One of them brought me coffee this morning, and one of them, her mom makes earrings, and so I'm wearing these. I switched to my other earrings today, but just feel so super loved. Like, look how sweet. For kids, birthdays are such a big deal, and the people in their life that they like love and care about, it's also just a really big deal for them. So it's really nice to celebrate with kids at school. I know some of you either have your birthday in the summer, or maybe if your birthday falls on a weekend. Mine always falls during the school, so I've always been able to celebrate it with kids, except for when we were distance learning. But it's just such a special day because I'm not someone who does a lot for their birthday, so spending it with my class is actually really, really special to me. So I still have a couple things I need to prep and get ready for them today, but off to a really heartwarming start. Today was such a good day. I almost didn't vlog this week too, but I was like, you know what? No, I'm really gonna want to remember these moments. And when I picked my kids up, there were a couple classes in the hallway, and my kids were in their specials room, and they started singing happy birthday to me, and the kids in the hallway were joining in, and the teachers, and it was just like a really sweet moment that made me feel special. But the kids were so nice to me all day. I did have one, I forgot to say this earlier, but I had one who like had no idea it was my birthday, because I didn't like I told you, I didn't tell everybody it was my birthday. And they were like, Miss Cole, I'm so sorry I didn't get you anything. And I'm like, you didn't have to get me anything. Like, I just love being your teacher. Like, that is my favorite thing. I think I already told you this, but I don't do a lot of like celebrations or anything. So I really like getting to just spend the day with them in the classroom. And I picked up ice cream cake at lunch, and I got back just in time. It was like 15 or so minutes away, so I like ran and got the ice cream cake, ran back, and they loved the ice cream cake. Sorry parents, but I gave them so much because I bought a cake. I wanted to make sure it was big enough. It was plenty big. And they loved it. So we're still doing our classroom walks today. So people came in, again, some people came in during AR, some people came in a little bit during our writing, but I feel like they like didn't come in at any of the times where I'd be like, oh, I would love for somebody to be like watching what's happening right now. Okay, thumbs up if they rhyme, thumbs down if they don't rhyme.
Okay, Mommy. Teacher.
Okay. That, flat. Good, they rhyme. Those, mouse. Chick, stick.
You don't have to tell us.
Crush, must. Kind of sounds like it though. Moth, cloth. Good. I want you to just tell me the first sound you hear in all these words. My turn. Whimper, whiz, weather. Good. What two letters?
W-A.
Good. Shaggy, shore, shady. Then, that, these. Good. Let me hear you. Change, chase, cheddar. Thief, theft, thinking. Good. Put it together. Ch, o, z. Sh, or, t. Ch. Ninth. Just the last sound. Ninth. Fresh. Sh. Touch. Ch. Mouth. Last sound. All the sounds in whiz. All the sounds in these. All the sounds in shy. All the sounds in whisk. Good. Separate that blend. Whisk. Good. Say at. Add sh to the beginning. Say air. Add sh to the beginning. Say ink. Add f to the beginning. Say row. Add f to the beginning. Throw. Good. Say eek. Add ch to the beginning. Say chin. Without the ch. Say shave. Without the sh. Say charm. Without the ch. Soar. Change this to a ch. Say peas. Change the p to a v. Good. Say park. Change the p to a sh. Say park. Change the p to a sh. Say pill. Change the p to a s. Chest, nice job. Kiss your brains. You beat it. Okay. What's it time for? Writing. Okay. But you know, they still left some really nice things. This person left me 3 sticky notes, which I just like totally treasure, and they don't leave their name, so I don't know who it is. They said, "Bless your soul for teaching 1st grade. I felt like crying watching you teach. So magical. You're an amazing teacher. Amazing. I love how you get your students so engaged with everything, even the schedule. The students are so engaged when waiting, so much loving energy. This is your place. This is where you're supposed to be." Like, that means so much. All these notes are seriously just so nice. But the things that we did today that went really well, that people didn't really see. For writing, we didn't do a whole lot of writing. We literally just read Rocket Writes a Story because I wanted to talk to them about, like, this is what it can feel like sometimes when you're starting. I wanted to talk to them about the feeling that, you know, comes when you're about to write and you're not sure what to write. And they have experienced that a little bit before. But for personal narratives, I really want them to dig in deep. So Rocket Writes a Story. I share about it, I think, almost every year, but about a little dog who goes and he collects all these words, but he's not sure what story to write, and he ends up writing this story about an owl, and he writes part of a story and then reads it to the owl, and the owl is coming down the tree very slowly, and like they're building this friendship, and at the very end the owl kind of like helps add to his story. So that's also a conversation you could have about like peer editing and talking with your friends and adding more details. So who remembers we started something brand new yesterday? Close, not a personal self. It's a personal story. We call it a personal narrative. A personal narrative is a story about who?
You.
A story about who?
You.
You. A personal narrative is a true story about you. Yesterday, what personal narratives did we look at? Yeah, we looked at books from students last year in our class. Today we're going to read a story about a little dog named Rocket who writes a story. Who's my helper? You read it before? Okay. We're going to read it together. We're going to read it kind of fast today, though. It's not bigger than you. Okay, ready? Rocket writes a story. How many of you have read this book before? Just curious. In kindergarten, maybe? Maybe. Okay, here we go. Rocket writes a story. Do you want to see the pictures?
Yeah.
On the book. Ready? Rocket loved books. He loved to read them to himself or to sit quietly by his teacher. What do you think his idea is going to be?
Make a story.
Make a story? Why do you think that?
Out of all
What's the book called?
Rocket
Writes a Story. I'm so excited to see what his story is going to be about. Characters have?
Problems.
Characters have? Problems. I want you to turn and tell your friend, what is Rocket's problem right now? But he said, I don't know what to write. He's told his teacher. What's his problem?
His problem is that he forgot what to write.
He doesn't know what to write. Look, he went and he collected all of these words, just like we have all these words in our brain. But when his teacher had him sit down and he was ready to write, he said, I give up.
How can that teacher help him?
Have you ever felt like that?
Yes.
Have you ever felt like something is just so overwhelming and you don't even know where to start, so you just sit there and you do nothing?
Yeah.
Characters have problems. Rocket's problem was that he didn't know what to write. Rocket's problem was that he
didn't know what to write.
and his teacher told him he should do what?
Write something like inspire.
Look for
A word and something to inspire.
something to inspire him, right? He needed to look for something to inspire him. And what did he find that inspired him? Why do you think the owl wouldn't come down? What color is her beak? What does she do every day? Rocket, how to? Zoom in! She's asking more questions so he can add more details to his writing. So his story is more what?
Inspirational.
Interesting. Nope. No, she's really impressed. It's like entranced. Remember our vocabulary word entranced? And something is entrancing, you can't look away. It was captivating. And when Rocket stopped, she would always ask, then what happened? I want you to notice what the little owl is doing. Where is he or she? At the top, and then maybe later she moves. And then maybe later she comes. And then maybe now she's on this last branch. The end.
We're about to try.
Bug tracker! After 37 comes 38. When we write our personal narratives, if you ever get stuck, what can you do? That is getting us ready for tomorrow. We're going to start our personal narratives. I have done every year, I think, where you give them a heart and they put things in their heart that they can write about. But I don't think I'm going to do that this year because every year that I've done it, I don't feel like they picked something that they had originally put in their heart. Like if they're like, oh, like my mom, my dog, my whatever, like they always end up writing something different than what they put in their heart. So I'm like, you know what, I'm not even going to waste a day doing the heart activity. I think we're just going to I'm going to try not doing it and see if I even notice a difference. Math was so fun. It was so fun. We did the little turkey trot and I think I have some clips to share with you.
7, 8.
Do you guys have your answer?
It's 14.
Gobble, gobble, shake, shake, gobble, gobble, shake, shake, gobble, gobble, turkey, turkey, get on my plate. 4, 5, what is it?
12.
Listen.
Yeah.
They loved the turkey, turkey, skip, skip, turkey, turkey, shake, shake, turkey, turkey, wait. Gobble, gobble, skip, skip, gobble, gobble, shake, shake, gobble, gobble, turkey, turkey, get on my plate. They loved that, and it was such a simple way to just incorporate a bunch more movement into the lesson. And I have a couple kids in my class who know how number lines work, but when they came up, like they still needed a little bit of help. So I'm like, you know what? I'm really glad that like I took the time to do this instead of just assuming that everyone had a really good grip on it. Like some of my kids who could maybe do the problem couldn't do it on a number line. And I'm like, you need to know how to use a number line. So I'm glad we did that. I have so much kid art, birthday cards. One of my girls made me ice cream. Isn't that so sweet? Being a teacher on days like today, where you just like feel the love all day, one of the best jobs. Also during centers today, a lot of them wrote on their paper, like by their name, they wrote happy birthday Miss Call. I actually find that so sweet because one of my kids, every single paper he does, he writes I love you Miss Call on every paper, and I'm like, you're so sweet. Oh, but also during centers, I think I talked to you a little bit about this, but Rhyme Magic, some of my kids that I've been doing basically CVC words with this whole time that have their vowel sounds just down, we have been practicing Rhyme Magic, and I wish I could just express how stinking proud I am of these kids because I filmed it for Dojo too. You cannot see me. I filmed it for Dojo so their parents could see, but what I did was I had them find the rhyme. I'm either underexposed or overexposed. Then find the rhyme, and if they find the ending, I'll say great job. What the heck? Okay, we're just gonna leave it here. If they find the ending, I'll say great job, that's the ending. If they point to a blend or to the front, I'll say, oh good, that's the beginning of the word, that's the onset. Can you find the rhyme? Remember, it's the vowel and what comes after it. So then finally, it takes them a couple times in the beginning to find it in the word. But that's part of it because you want them to immediately recognize this in the word so that when they get to words like this, they see this part and this is the blend, and it kind of clicks. Am I describing that okay? It clicks in their brain and it helps them, it gives them more experience sounding out multisyllabic words. So they would say, for this one, they would say hem, hemming, like this. And for this, they would say sometimes I'll have them do this letter too if it's a blend that has 3 letters because I don't want them to miss that one, but maybe strum, or strum, strumming. And then eventually they get to words with multiple endings, shimmering. Right now we're doing our orange Rhyme Magic cards, which a lot of them have our secrets, but it can help us spell a lot more words. And we also will practice inflectional endings. So that will be way later down the road for my whole group, but for some of my higher kids, we're going to be doing inflectional endings soon, which is basically like if we take the word race, R-A-C-E, to make the word racing, we would drop the E and add ing. So those different endings, racing, racer. So that's coming soon for my kids who are ready for that. This lesson today, also the last thing, went really well. They are never, being totally honest, this lighting is so bad. They're never as interested, or I guess the word is engaged, in books that are not like super happy sing-song. I'm so sorry. Super happy sing-song books, like The Last Leaf and The Leaf Thief. Those books, those kind of books they love. The more simple picture books, but books like this one, Last Stop on Market Street, where a lot of the meaning has to be like inferred and it's above their grade level, which is all good things that you want to be doing as often as you can. They have to like actually really, really think about the story. And it's funny because I'm trying really hard to get them out of the habit of just saying happy, sad, because that's how they describe things. Happy, sad, that's it. So we practiced a couple more ways to describe characters, and then we talked about the evidence too. Because we're going to be analyzing characters and figuring out their character, describe a character. Yeah, a person. So we're going to make a chart here. Character, trait, and evidence. What's evidence?
Evidence, like the case of the missing, we need evidence.
Yeah, we need evidence to figure something out. Evidence is like proof. We need to prove why we think that character has that character trait. Characters, traits. Describe a character. Who remembers what our book was called? Last Stop on? Market Street. Who are our main characters? CJ? And Nana. And yesterday we talked a little bit about CJ and Nana's character traits. Character traits. Describe a character. We talked a little bit about their character traits. Today we are going to write about them. Miss Calden gave you paper today because I want you to be totally focused on who? Me. I am the star for today. Got it?
Because Miss Calden's birthday.
Okay, here we go. Stop on Market Street. Look at all these blends. Stir. This has 3 letters in the blend. Stir. Eat. Nana, how come we don't got a car? CJ is doing a lot of what? Talking. Specifically, he is?
Explaining.
He's not explaining. He's
telling.
He's asking. He's curious, right? So what's his name? CJ. Curious. Curious.
That's our thing for curiosity.
CJ is curious, and we know he's curious because why? What's our evidence? He's what?
He's asking questions.
He's asking lots of questions. He pulled a coin from behind CJ's ear, placed it in his palm. Nana laughed her deep laugh and pushed CJ along. How would you describe the bus driver? Tell your friend. Sweet. Kind. Nice. He's tricking him. He's being playful. Say playful. Playful. Silly. Good. So we'll say Mr. Dennis. Oh, yeah, you're right. Playful. What's our proof? How do we know he's playful? What did he do? Yeah, he did a trick. I have lots of characters. Mr. Dennis is playful because he did a trick. Ready? Nana gave everyone a great big smile and a good afternoon. She made sure CJ did the same. What do we know about our character here? Who's the character we're talking about? Grandma, but what do they call her? Nana. Say Nana.
Nana.
Good. We're going to talk about Nana. And Nana is what?
Sweet.
Nana is sweet. What's our evidence that she's sweet? Yeah, she smiled and said good afternoon. This time he feels sorry for himself.
Sorry for himself.
So do you know another way we could say that if you feel sorry for yourself?
No. Sad.
Sad.
Unhappy.
Yeah, well, let's do that one. CJ feels unhappy, or maybe he said Miguel and Colby. He's a little what of Miguel and Colby?
Jealous.
Jealous. Say jealous.
Jealous.
CJ is jealous of Miguel and Colby, and we know, oops, I spelled that wrong. I should just hug it. Because what? How do we know? What did he do or what did he say? Nana is considerate. Because she thinks of others.
Other people.
So, yeah, today went really, really well, and I'm excited for tomorrow. So I have been the absolute worst vlogger. I don't even think I talked to you yesterday. Today is Friday. Finally, it's Friday. And it's the end of the day. So I can tell you a little bit about what we did yesterday. It was not anything crazy. I don't think I really filmed much for you except a little bit of our read aloud. We did some more number lines, but they did more independent. Oh, I had my walks yesterday. Okay, we've been reading this week Those Shoes and Last Stop on Market Street, and we did kind of like a little character analysis of the character trait, and the evidence. So here is some of that for you to see. And we continue that today. So we read Last Stop on Market Street 2 times, and we read Those Shoes 2 times. So we spent a couple days on Last Stop on Market Street and charted the character traits, and then we did Those Shoes. And then today I had them sit just on the edge of the carpet, and we talked about the character traits that we charted down, and I asked them to give me more examples of characters that they've read about that have those same character traits. So I was like, tell me someone who is playful. Give me an example of another character you know that's generous. Why are they generous? Nana, in our book Last Stop on Market Street, we said Nana was sweet because she smiled and said good afternoon. Who's another character in a different book that you think is sweet?
Needle Boo, a wind was kind.
The wind was kind, right? The wind was right there, and it was telling him, just wait, just wait. All right, in this book, we said CJ was jealous because his friends never have to go places. Who's another character in a book that is jealous? Ooh, a jealous character. Wants what other people have.
In Those Shoes, Jeremy was jealous that everybody had those shoes.
In Those Shoes, Jeremy was jealous. Can we think of another jealous character?
The pigeon.
The pigeon. What's the pigeon jealous of?
He really wants to do stuff.
Yeah, he really wants to do stuff all the time, right?
Yeah, but he's just a silly little pigeon. He wanted to ride the bus.
I know, he's probably jealous of that bus driver, huh? Good connection. In this book, we said Nana was considerate because she thinks of other people. Who can tell me another character who is considerate? I see the same hands going up every time. I need some other friends to participate.
Piggy and Gerald.
Oh, why is Piggy and Gerald considerate? What are they?
Because they share and they play.
Yeah, they share with each other. A lot of times, don't they talk about how they're feeling too? Yeah, Gerald or Piggy will say, oh, you look sad, or what's wrong? They're being considerate, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then in this book, we also said Jeremy was disappointed. The shoes didn't fit him. Can you think of a time a character has felt so disappointed?
Little Boo.
Little Boo. Why was Little Boo disappointed?
Because he couldn't scare anyone.
Yeah, he couldn't scare anyone. He felt so disappointed. In this book, we said Jeremy was kind because he was playing with Antonio. Can you think of another character who is kind? A character maybe you'd want to be friends with because they're so kind.
Piggy and Gerald.
Piggy and Gerald? Oh, Piggy and Gerald have lots of good character traits, don't they?
Yeah.
What makes Piggy and Gerald kind?
They like to play a lot. They help.
Yeah, they help each other. Yeah, that's important too. And not only do they help each other, they help other characters too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, last one. In this book, we said Jeremy was thoughtful because he gives Antonio those shoes. Can you think of another thoughtful character?
He's thoughtful because his teacher wanted him to find more full of writing a story about
Yeah, super thoughtful. He has to really think about that, didn't they? Who's another thoughtful character? I love that. Good job.
Another thoughtful character was Bird from the Leafy because he told him, the squirrel, that there's no leaf seed. It's just the wind. And
Yeah.
he kept saying
Yeah. Character traits are important because they help us learn more about characters and why they do things. So now we're going to do centers. Hopping back yesterday, we did our classroom walks, and mine was towards the end of the day, so I just left a little writing lesson. I know I talked to you about doing the heart, and I figured since I wasn't going to be here in the afternoon, that would be something simple that they could do. So they all made their little heart about things that they can write about. Here's my example. So Tesla, cookies, oh, can you see? Tesla, cookies, cooking, going out to eat, John, shopping, plants, going on a trip. And I left that example for them, and they made their own, and theirs actually came out pretty nice, and I just stapled them in the back of their writing journals, and we're gonna officially start our unit next week, or we're gonna try to, because November is crazy. Classroom walks for me, I would love to do it again because I didn't feel like I could see enough of what I wanted to see, because everywhere that I went, and I was with a group of people, but everywhere that we went, it seems like people were just like finishing up their lessons, so I didn't get to see a whole lot, which makes me sad. So I hope that we get to see more soon, because that's like my favorite thing, is to see other teachers teach, obviously. And then they did an independent number line activity, and they all did really, really well on that, so we're moving on. Next week we're going to do doubles, and I wrote a really fun song for doubles to the tune of Hannah Montana, Best of Both Worlds. You can hear that in the next vlog. Today was Fun Friday. We made bats that I meant to make on Halloween, but I totally forgot about, and one of my kids has been begging me all week, and I'm like, you know what, okay, we'll do it. So we made little bats today. I had one of my moms come in, and she was with us all afternoon, and she was helping me file things. She was with a group making bats, just all the help, so I always appreciate that. We finally did our leader of the week and our classroom coupons and everything, because I've been neglecting that the past couple of weeks. I felt like all week long we were having a super awesome, like, strong week, and then this morning it was kind of just a hot mess, and it just felt like a crazy train wreck of a Friday. But the week's over, and we ended it on a strong note, so I am excited about that. Hopefully this vlog was short, sweet, simple, and to the point. Let me know what you found helpful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like this video and subscribe down below to join our family. I will see you in the next one.